Welcome. We will start today standing. Suggested props are all of them. So a blanket, I would say maybe not a strap, but otherwise a blanket, bolster, blocks. We're going to do a splits flow, and it's totally fine to not be able to do the front splits. I can't. We'll just work toward it, which means a lot of hip and hamstring opening. So step to the top of the mat, feet hips width distance apart. Close your eyes. And just notice how firmly you're pressing your feet down into the mat. And then you just try to line up and stack the joints from there. So femur, top of femur bone stacking over ankles. Hips stacking over legs, shoulders stacking over hips. So you can lift the shoulders up and roll them back. Open your heart. And then find a little lift through the crown of your head. Eyes still remain closed. And just come into your Ujjayi breath. So breath with sound or oceanic sounding breath, where you inhale and exhale through your nose in a soft, kind of slight constriction in the back of your throat. So we'll do 5 rounds of breath here. Soften your face, soften your jaw. And then fold your palms together in front of your heart. Set an intention for your practice. Just one word, something uplifting. Good, and then open the eyes. Inhale, reach your arms up, look up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, fold. Inhale, walk your hands forward, lengthen through the crown. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, plank. Inhale, shift forward in the plank. And then take your knees down, lift the tailbone up to arch the back, and then hug the elbows in. So we come down, knees, chest, chin, and then slide through Cobra. Slide the scapula down the back. Draw the belly in, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend your knees, look ahead. Little steps or little hops, forward, forward fold. Root down through your feet. Inhale, reach all the way up to the sky. Palms touch, hands in front of the heart. Exhale. 2 more like that. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge at hips, fold. Walk your hands forward. Extend through the crown. And then bend the knees, plant the hands, step back, down dog. Roll forward, plank. Bring your knees down, find a little lift in the tailbone, hug the elbows toward the body and back, chest comes down, chin comes down, and then slide through Cobra. Lift the belly, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, little steps or hop to the top of the mat, fold. Root down to rise, inhale, reach up. Hands in front of the heart, exhale. Again, inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, fold. Walk your hands forward, reach for the crown, look ahead. And then bend the knees, plant the hands, step back, down dog. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, bring your knees down, bring your chest down, keep your tailbone lifted, chin down, and then slide through, Cobra. Downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Little steps or hop to the top of the mat, fold. Root down to rise up. Inhale, reach up, look up, palms in front of the heart. Exhale. Okay, inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge at hips, fold. Walk the hands forward, reach to the crown. Bend the knees, plant the hands, step back down dog. On an inhale, step your right foot forward through your hands. Step your back foot up a little bit, pyramid. So both feet come down. Outer left hip wraps back. Or sorry, outer right hip wraps back. And then walk your hands forward a little bit. Walk the foot way back. Bring the back knee down. And then half split, straighten your front knee. Take the toes toward the nose. Bend the front knee. Take your left hand down, right hand, right thigh, twist. Pin the right scapula toward your spine. Right hand comes down, back knee lifts, downward facing dog. Step the left foot through. On the inhale, step the back foot up a little bit, straighten your front knee, pyramid fold. You can always have blocks here. Outer left hip wraps back. And then you're going to bend the front knee, step the right foot way back, take the back knee down, half split. Straighten your front leg. Bend your front knee, take the right hand inside the left foot, and then left hand, left thigh. Open the left side chest by taking the left shoulder blade toward your spine. Twist, maybe look behind you. Left hand comes down, back knee lifts. Press the earth away and step 2, downward facing dog. Okay, again, right foot steps forward, inhale. Back foot steps forward, pyramid, fold. Bend the front knee, step the back foot way back knee comes down. Half split, straighten the front leg to your ability. Bend the front knee, left hand stays rooted on the mat, right hand, right thigh, twist. You can let the front of the left hip really dip down and lead the twist. So the spine wants to follow the pelvis. Pelvis moves first. Right hand comes down, back knee lifts, press the earth away, down dog. Step the left foot forward, back heel steps up. Front knee straightens to your ability, pyramid. Bend the front knee, step the back foot way back knee comes down, right hand down, left hand, left thigh, look back. Open your left side chest, breathe. Left hand comes down, back knee lifts, downward facing dog. This time, right leg lifts way up. Bend your upper knee and then lift it up to the sky. Maybe take some circles with this top foot. Option here to bring the left elbow down and kind of rock forward, build up some shoulder strength. Or flip your dog so you really kind of pivot on the ball of the left foot as the right foot comes down off of the mat. And then feet hips width distance apart. Lift your thighs, lift your pelvis, reach your right arm back behind you. Open the heart, breathe. And then bring your right hand down. Right leg comes way up. Right knee, right wrist, pigeon. Left leg slides back, toes are tucked. Walk your hands back and then walk them forward. Walk them back up. Lift your back knee, back thigh. Downward facing dog. Notice the difference between the sides. left leg lifts up. Bend the upper knee, open it up. Right elbow might come down. You can kind of practice shifting forward here. Shoulder over the elbow. Or swivel on the ball of the right foot, step the left foot way off the mat, and then the feet line up, hip width distance, lift the hips, reach your left arm forward, spread the right fingers wide, and then left hand comes down, down dog split, left knee, left wrist, right leg steps way back, tuck the toes, walk your hands back toward your hips, and then take the arms out in front of you. Walk your hands back up, root them down on the mat, lift your back knee, downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale. Step your right foot forward through the hands, and then walk your hands to the left. So straddle forward, bend. So feet are parallel with the short edges of your mat. And then if you need to take a little bend in the knees, that's fine. While you're doing that, lift up through the tailbone. And then press down into the pinky toe side edges of your feet. Try to lift the pinky toe off your mat to keep your shins hugging in toward the midline and keeping some muscular tone with the calf muscles in the legs so that you're supporting the knees and keeping them happy. Lifting up through your tailbone. Let the head hang, shake your head no. Nod yes. Good. Walk your hands forward. Step back, downward facing dog. Left foot steps forward. Both hands walk to the right. Straddle forward, bend the other direction. Press down into the pinky toe edges of the feet. And you're kind of pressing down into the big toe mound as well, while lifting the pinky toe off the mat. And you can even do that manually. Kind of put your fingers on your pinky toes to lift them. Let your neck be soft, head heavy. And then walk your hands back forward, downward facing dog. Right foot steps forward, back knee comes down. So you can always have padding here behind the or underneath the knee. And then you can start with the blocks here if you like. So back knee is on the blanket, front knee is at 90 degrees. Hands can be on blocks here. Be up nice and tall. And then take your right hand on the right thigh, lift your left arm straight up. Sink deeper into the front knee, let the pelvis dip down. And then slowly guide the belly back toward the spine a bit. Lift up through the sternum, look up, maybe a little back bend here. And then bring your left hand down, straighten the front leg, half splits. Bend your front knee. Bring it back to that 90-degree angle. You can keep your left hand on the block if you like. Right hand, right thigh. Pin the right scapula back. Take your gaze back behind you. And then the option here would be to bend your back knee. If this is how far it goes, that's fine. The height here definitely helps me grab the foot. If I didn't have the height of the block, there's no way I could go for this quad stretch. So consider adding some height underneath the left hand, bringing the floor to you. Pin your right scapula toward your spine, draw it down your back, maybe look back. And then let go of the left foot. You can move the blocks out of the way for a second, lift your back knee, downward facing dog. Left foot steps forward, back knee comes down. Again, your hands might be on blocks here. Left hand, left thigh, right arm reaches up. Inhale. Exhale, let the pelvis dip. Draw the belly back slightly, look up, draw up from the sternum. And then bring the right hand down to your block and then straighten your front leg. Half split. Rebend through the front knee. Right hand comes inside the block. Remember, from here, keep that height under the hand and then bend the back knee, maybe reach for the foot with the left hand. Maybe you need to come up a little bit to get there. Open your left side chest, look back. And then let the foot go. Good. Okay, move the blocks out of the way. Press down into the hands, downward facing dog. And then bring your knees down to the mat. And walk them toward your body, just so you can come into tabletop. And then move the right knee right next to the left. From here, cross the left knee over the right, and then walk your feet apart. And then sit your hips back. So if this feels super tight here, bring the floor to you. Sit up on a bolster or a block. And then stacking your knees for Gomukhasana, legs. So knees are stacked. And then you can flex the feet here. Keep the feet active, protect the knees. Root down into your sits bones. And then press the pubic bone down as you walk your hands forward. Let your gaze drop down and breathe. And if this variation doesn't work for you, you can always just take a cross-legged seat and do the same exact thing. Now walk your hands forward, unwind the left knee, take the knees apart again, and then take the left knee next to the right and cross the right knee over the left. So left knee is in front, right knee is in back. And then from here we sit the hips back. And try to walk your feet apart from each other. Knees stack, spine tall. You can press down on your knees. If you feel like you can go deeper, you would walk your hands forward while also rooting down with your sits bones. And then from here, shift forward. Uncross the right knee from the left. Take the knees nice and wide, toes touch, sit back, child's pose. Take your head down. Find a moment of rejuvenation here. Reflection. Rest. Press down into the hands, draw yourself back up, tabletop. From here, step your right foot forward. Now, one thing I like to do is take something a bit slippery in front of my mat so that when I'm going in to front splits, I have something to help slide the heel forward. So I'm going to start with my hands up on blocks. Step the right foot on top of the blanket. This could be a towel. You could also be wearing a sock. And then take your left knee back. Toes are tucked. From here, just with your heel, press it down and slide your leg out in front of you and then take it back. And then from here, take your leg out to the right a little bit and then take it back. And then front, come back, and then to the right and back. And then we'll go front, stay right here. Take your right hand outside the right thigh and grab on to your hamstrings and then pull them outward. And from here, maybe take the left knee back a little bit. And then maybe a little bit more. Toes stay tucked. And then just play, see how far you can get into the splits. This is about where I'm at right now. We also want to make sure the femur is locked into the hip socket, the acetabulum. So if you feel like you're kind of extending out of the hip socket, you want to draw the femur bone back in and then move forward with the leg while it's still in the socket. So just go nice and careful. Pull the right knee back in and sit back, hero's pose. Sit on the heels, or hero pose. And I guess technically, if we're in full hero pose, you are sitting between the heels, but it's all good. You can just sit here. Okay, other side. Hands to blocks. Left foot steps forward, right knee goes back. You always have padding for the back knee as well. Bring your left heel onto the blanket. And then just get used to taking the left heel forward, bring it back. Take it to the left, bring it back. To the front and back, to the left and back. Okay, and then out front. Left hand slides around the hammies, pulls them outward. And that's to help widen the back of your pelvis. And then while doing that, you want to bring the femur bone back into the hip socket so it's like a little vacuum suck. And then start to expand forward with the left leg. Spine stays tall, scapula stays down the back. And you're breathing. Press forward with the ball of the left foot. Bend your left knee, take the blanket back. Okay, good. Now from here, we're going to bring the blocks forward and come to hero's pose. So knees are hip width distance. Your heels, your feet are going to be outside your hips. So if it's not working for you, like if you don't feel your sits bones down on your mat right now, I want you to grab a prop and sit up on it. And then from here, come forward, take your left hand and just roll the, like you want to like flatten the calf out and also roll it out to the left. So you can take your hand like an iron, like the heel of the hand, and just flatten it first. And then take these horseshoe hands, left thumb is inside the left calf and roll it out to the left. So you're just kind of rolling everything out. Then sit back. And then notice if that side feels different than the right side. It certainly does for me. You still want these, this left heel, inner and outer heel, to be straight up to the sky. So if the foot is kind of sickling in or out, you need height underneath you likely. Okay, and then come forward again and do the right side. So you can start with just ironing the calf down, and then horseshoe hands, which is like a horseshoe. The left thumb or the right thumb goes inside the thigh, and then you just roll the calf out. So you could do this on both sides together now. And then take your seat down. Bring the feet back in. And then press your pubic bone down. Okay, if you feel like you can remove the block, go for it. I'm actually gonna have a blanket. There, okay. So then from here, your options would be to stay or start to make your way back a little bit. For Supda Varasana, which is reclined hero's pose, you might be up here, that's fine. Or you might easily be able to come down here. You can spread your toes apart. And then from here, maybe you keep coming down. If you have your bolster, you would get that handy. Maybe come all the way down, and your knees also press down into the mat. And then if this feels like a big back bend, which it likely does, because you're in alignment, now you can lift the hips and lift the tailbone a little bit, aiming it toward the back of the knees. A couple rounds of breath. And then take your elbows down to help you come on back up. You can move this bolster out of the way and then come on back up. Okay, from here, come to a seat. And then we'll just come all the way down to our backs. Let me grab a block. Draw your knees in toward your chest. Take some circles, a few in each direction. Good, and then bring your feet down to the mat. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Flare the toes on the right foot. And then keep rooted down into both sits bones so your pubic bone presses forward, which adds a little arch into the low back. From there, take the shape toward the chest. Your chin might have lifted up quite a bit, so just a little tiny tuck, making the back of the neck nice and long, and then a little side to side movement. Take the left foot down, unhook the right. Left ankle over right thigh, flare the toes. Roll your sits bones forward, bring the shape to the chest, rock a little side to side. And then bring your right foot down, followed by the left. You can take a block if you like, underneath the hips, and come to bridge. So if you want more of a supported bridge, you just bring this block right underneath the sacrum, which is right above the tailbone. So it's typically a little bit lower than people think. If you don't have the block, that's fine too. Just make sure you're pressing down into the heels, pressing down into the big toe mound, trying to lift the pinky toe off the mat. And then either variation, you can walk your hands toward the heels and interlace the fingers. And then whatever variation you took, go ahead, release the bind if you took that, lift the hips off a block if you had a prop, and then bring your knees to your chest and take them over to the left. Keep an arch in your back by just doing it, like it might automatically come to you, oh, I know how to arch my back. But it also means maybe like pressing your tailbone back or pressing your pubic bone between your upper thighs. And then arms at a letter T or cactus. Take your gaze to the right or close your eyes. And then bring your feet back to center. And over to the other side, to the right. And then take your gaze to the left. Arch the back. Close your eyes. And bring your knees back through center. Bring them all the way in toward the chest. Give yourself a big hug. And then it's up to you. You can end in a seated meditation or take Shavasana. Legs go nice and long. Legs are wide. Feet turn out. Arms wide. Eyes closed. Just let gravity be your friend here. Come back to the present moment wherever you're at. Start with deepening your breath. And of course, if you can stay in Shavasana, please do so until your body tells you to come out. Otherwise, draw the knees in one at a time. Roll off to the right or left side. And then take your right hand, or your top hand, I should say, press yourself up to a seat. Eyes remain closed. And bring your palms together in front of your heart. And then come back to the intention that you set. And the practice off your mat today is coming back to that intention, to revisit it in times of stress, challenge, or joy. Just embody that one word or short sentence as you go through your evening or the rest of your day. Inhale. Exhale. Namaste.